This is a reading of The Struggle Continues by Kwame Nkrumah, published in 1966. It is titled, in the first section, A Call to the Workers of Ghana. Workers of Ghana, workers of our farms and peasant areas, workers in offices, factories, and shops, workers in our trade unions, workers in the mines and railways, workers on the construction sites, workers in the public services, teachers and students in our schools, colleges, and universities. Since the 24th of February, 1966, a little over 2 years ago, you have seen before your own eyes the degradation and shame which have been brought upon Ghana. Never before in our history has a clique of traitors betrayed the people and sold them to foreign interests. The so-called NLC, with their neo-colonialist mentors and Domo cohorts, sought political power by force and by meaningless decrees are mismanaging and ruining Ghana. You, the workers of Ghana, have a duty to perform, a duty stern and mandatory, to organize and to overthrow by force the clique of military police puppets which calls itself the National Liberation Council. A point has now been reached where you have no alternative. You have got to take a stand now and save Ghana. Today, you, the workers, farmers, and peasants of Ghana, more than any others, know that Ghanaians are living under the grip of a neo-colonialist tyranny. The time is ripe for organized, aggressive action. It is time to organize the trade unions for a general strike simultaneously with a military counter-coup to overthrow the NLC and liberate Ghana from the clutches of neocolonialism. Consider the lot of the Ghanaian worker today. Mass unemployment has hit the country, and the cost of living has soared to an unprecedented height. Thousands of those previously engaged in gainful employment today find it impossible to earn a living. Hunger and crime plague the country. Our free, compulsory, universal primary education and the free supply of textbooks have been abolished. Many secondary schools have been closed down and welfare services stopped. The cedi has been devalued and is soon to be devalued again. Ghana is bankrupt. It is deception to announce wage increases amidst economic chaos and confusion, and wherever one looks at the tragedy, it is the Ghanaian worker who has been hit hardest. Meantime, the so-called NLC, in league with its neo-colonialist masters and local reactionaries, are busy forming private companies with themselves and their foreign manipulators, becoming the directors on the boards of these companies. American, West German, and British private companies are sharing the booty of the exploitation of the Ghanaian people. They call this aid. The victimization and humiliation of all those who advocate socialism as the African way of development still continues. How many commissions of inquiry will be needed to uncover the dark recesses of NLC corruption? To conceal the truth, the NLC and their neo-colonialist masters embark upon campaigns of lies, propaganda, and vilification in order to divert the attention of the Ghanaian workers from the issues of hunger and exploitation and to destroy the will to overthrow them. Their American advisors, who have taken over the direction of the economic affairs, are not in Ghana to seek solutions to our industrial and economic development, but rather to squeeze out profits from Ghana. They have come to Ghana to ensure the exploitation of our country for the benefit of foreign capitalist interests. In the past 2 years, by practical experience, you, the workers of Ghana, have come to know what neocolonialism is. The Ghana TUC, which was built out of the sacrifices and struggles of thousands of our working men, as an effective implement to better living conditions and to protect their industrial rights, has been reduced to a disgraceful appendage of neocolonialism. Today, openly and shamefully, the NLC has made our once glorious and dynamic Ghana TUC an apparatus of neocolonialism. Where is the honor and dignity of our TUC in Africa today, when John Gore of the American CIA, employed by a so-called African American Labor Center, sits in our former offices of the All-African Trade Union Federation as the principal of the so-called Ghana Labor College? This is the extent to which the image and honor of our once glorious and invincible trade union movement have been reduced by these neo-colonialist lackeys. Why must the workers of Ghana sit and watch these things happen before their very eyes and yet do nothing about them? What will the founders of the Ghana trade union movement think of our generation? How can a movement with such fine traditions of struggle allow itself to be so denigrated? Workers of Ghana, awake! This is the time to demonstrate your invincibility once more. We have not forgotten the historic role played by the Ghanaian TUC in the achievement of Ghana's independence. We have not forgotten the days when the AATUF, with its headquarters in Ghana, was the hope and inspiration of other workers of Africa struggling for their freedom. Where is our policy of non-alignment and the assertion of the African personality in trade union affairs. How long are we going to continue to sit down, unconcerned, and see the name, honor, and dignity of Ghana, and the workers in particular, dragged down, besmeared with mud? All that which is right and reasonable pleads for action to avenge the honor and dignity of Ghana. To think or talk of constitutional formulas in the face of illegalities is to duck the truth and ignore realities. To attempt to argue or to listen to discussions with the clique which has sold its conscience for a mess of pottage is criminal folly. To negotiate with renegades who have renounced their use of reason is to attempt the impossible. The only language which is understood is force and action. Workers of Ghana reflect, take stock of events, and deal with the present shameless situation with revolutionary firmness and zeal. After a certain point, the liberation struggle develops a continuity as a result of its past experiences. The Ghanaian worker must refuse to struggle under blackmail. The enemy has got its grip on our Achilles heel, and we must kick back now or never. Today we see before our very own eyes the total and complete dismantling of the socialist sector of our economy. This sector, built through sweat, toil, and the sacrifice for the welfare of the Ghanaian workers, is being handed over shamelessly to foreign corporations and capitalists. The workers who in the past worked in our state hotels and felt the pride of working for themselves are today the employees of an American hotel corporation. Many of them have been dismissed. The free workers on our 20-mile square state rubber plantation are today the slave laborers of the Firestone Rubber Company of America, a company known throughout the world for its oppressive labor policies. Behold Liberia. The breakdown of the economy of Ghana and the transforming of the country into a classic neo-colonialist client state must make the workers sit up, think, and act. The institutions we built through years of hard work and socialist planning are being destroyed. Our trade unions and militant workers must adopt positive action now to clear up the mess into which the country has been plunged, and this must take the form of countryside coordinated positive action, not isolated protest. Once the fire is lit, the blaze will spread throughout the country. Workers of Ghana, arouse the anger of the people of Ghana into action. This is your total responsibility as a working class. If you put down your tools and refuse to work, if you stop production and stop making profits for foreign interests, if you organize yourselves and link up in positive action in the form of a general strike with other workers throughout the country, you will have forced the NLC and their neo-colonialist manipulators to capitulate. You will have rescued one generation from complete political and economic disaster. This is a sacrifice you must make. There is no other great patriotic duty you could perform for Ghana. For the present generation of Ghanaians alike can only spring up once again out of the rotten corpse of the so-called NLC. The term NLC is a misnomer and has become symbolic of degradation, shame, and infamy. I know that there are a majority of the army and police, including officers, who would like to see Ghana freed from neo-colonialist control. These men are with us and are ready to join us in the march to action. The task of the workers of Ghana now is direct action and struggle. Organize in your workplaces, in the mines, in the railways, at the harbors, on the construction sites, in public offices, in schools, colleges, and universities. Link up your resistance and positive action activities with the CPP in the wards, villages, and in the countryside. The party is emerging, born anew from its setback, fully tested and experienced to fulfill its historic role as the party of the workers, farmers, and peasants of Ghana. Those who had remained in the ranks of the party in the past for the purpose of amassing wealth and with no conviction in its socialist goals have been swept away by their own opportunism and misdeeds and by the betrayal of the people's trust. As I have said elsewhere, the slate has been wiped clean and the party is emerging ideologically seasoned to continue the revolutionary struggle with the oppressed of Ghana, Africa, and the world. Workers, farmers, and peasants in all parts of Ghana, organize and act now. You have to liberate your country once again as you did in the days of British colonialism. Your goal is historic. It is the building of a society in Ghana within a united socialist Africa. Workers, farmers, and peasants of Ghana, do not despair or fear the future. Act now. The struggle continues.